Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. Happy to be live again with you on day eight of going live for 30 days straight. Who's been with me the whole time? I know I've seen familiar faces pop on. So, thank you to all those who've been joining live. For those that are catching the replay, I love seeing the comments, seeing the interactions, getting the messages of just the different things that are coming up for you that you're like, oh, I need to dive into that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Some things are caught, other things are taught. And there's so much of both happening here based on the feedback that I'm receiving. So I'm just very, very grateful. Plus, you guys get to know me a little bit more, right? There's a lot of new people that have come to my page, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Instagram doesn't like it when you go live. They make it really difficult, even though after I started this, a friend of mine was like, hey, I can help you go live on Instagram. I'm like, you know what? Just let Instagram be. Let it be. I'm actually most likely going to be uploading these at some point on my podcast. It's bigger than me. So if you're listening there, amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. But just very, very excited. Excited for this series, excited for what people are learning, what people are catching, all the things. So we are on day 8, and it's all about stewardship. We are diving right into stewardship and so many different aspects of stewardship. Because when I started these 30 days of lives, I'm like, you know what? I have content literally probably for a full year. I could go live every single day for a year. And wouldn't that be a commitment? Would you be able to keep a commitment for 365 days, every single day straight? I mean, I would love to say that I could. That would be a challenge. I might have to start with 3 months, then 6 months, then 8, and then grow from there, right? But, anyways, when it came to talking about just going live every day, stewardship was the topic that came up. What was cool is on one of these lives at one point, a good friend of mine who is also an incredible pastor, Pastor Humberto Revanato. He is the pastor of Revive Church in San Antonio, and they have a campus in Uvalde, Texas. And so he was like, that's so crazy. Like, I was just about to preach on a sermon with stewardship. Like, share your notes. I'm like, what? You want my notes? This is nuts. But, anyways, so we're here talking about day 8, stewarding your mind and your health. I'm very, very excited about this. And this is where I get to go deep in just on some of the different daily disciplines, habits, routines that have really helped me steward my mind and my health. And it's a non negotiable. So often, let's just talk about the mind, right? One of the most powerful Bible devotionals that I actually found in the YouVersion Bible app. It's a free app. You can download it on your phone. One of the most powerful devotionals that I have sent to anyone, and it definitely impacted me, was winning the war in your mind. The first war that you have to win is right here. It's the battle when you first get up. Now, one of the things that I have come to learn and now get to teach inside of our Radiant Leadership Academy, which is a leadership academy for those that want to do a deep dive into biblical leadership. Maybe you are like want to be a coach. We actually have a coaching program for that too. But one of the weeks we really dive on something that's called second thought theory. And when this was presented to me, I was like, the first thought that comes into our mind isn't our own most of the time. We got to challenge that thought. Is this thought from God, or is it maybe from me and it's coming out of my flesh, or is it coming from the enemy? Those are typically the 3 voices that you're going to hear, unless you want to let other ones come in. And so the first thought, it's like, let's check that for a second. Don't just take that as truth, challenge it. And maybe you have to go to a second thought. Maybe you have to go to a third, a fourth, a fifth. There are sometimes, y'all, that I have to do like 10 thought theory on people and things. I'm like, okay, think again, think again, think again. Like, seriously, you have to. And most of us will just take that first thought and we allow that to speak into us as truth. And then that sets the trajectory for the next moment, the next hour. And some of us let it ruin our entire day. Why would you let thoughts ruin your entire day? Like, let's think about that for a second. There are so many things in there that are trying to trip you up before you even get out of bed, before you even like brush your teeth, before you even start your day. And then you're like, ugh. It's like, I feel like America, like they just get this, like, let me just have my coffee and my donuts and my sugar and none of the things that are really good for you to start your day. Like, you see this energy that I have here at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock Pacific. It is like on high because I steward my mind And it took me a while to get there. It took me years to get to this point where I'm like, nope, that's not mine. Nope, I'm not going to take that as truth. And if I find myself really struggling with a thought, I'll even go to my inner circle and be like, okay, here's what I'm battling. And there could be, warfare. I may need prayer. I may need deliverance. I may need something, but that's what your inner circle is there for, or even your pastor. Which, speaking of my pastor friend, Humberto, hello, good morning from Texas. Sometimes you need that counsel, that wisdom to be able to help you snap out of it. Now, this is going to be a super tangent, but goodness gracious, I could not share. I have to share some of the stuff that I learned yesterday at my church, Oceans Church in Irvine, California. Pastor Mark Francie, shout out to Pastor Mark, amazing. He was talking about in this series called The Glorious Church. That's the series. The topic was about building fires. Building fires. Now, I might get deep for some of y'all, but I have to include some of this in here because a part of this definitely can go with the mind, for sure. Now, this is stuff that I learned and notes that I took on my own phone. I have my own notes. I love taking notes. I post them on my stories. Feel free to go check it out because I posted them yesterday. Or yesterday, I should say, September 8th, because you might be watching afterwards. So those notes may be gone. But anyways, I want to tell you two things. A couple of things in this really stood out to me. Number one, there are going to be people who try to take something sacred. There are going to be things, demonic forces that try to take something sacred and make it secular. Try to take something sacred and make it secular. This has a big thing to do with the church. Even the thoughts that we think in our own mind. When we really boil it down, some things end up becoming secular because we let other things seep in. We got to steward that. We got to put those walls up. We got to really be able to put the blockade up to know what is truth and what are lies. What is truth and what are lies? Another thing. Some may catch this, some may not. Two things the devil goes after are the same two things he cannot create. Devil cannot create people, and he cannot create fire. He cannot create fire. Meaning the fire that burns within us. Now, let's talk about fire for a second. I know I'm going on a tangent, but somebody has to get this other than me. So the laws of fire, let's think about it. Fire consists of heat, oxygen, and fuel. Heat, oxygen, and fuel. Again, shout out to Pastor Mark because this is fire. So fire contains heat, oxygen, and fuel. The heat that I'm talking about in this particular instance is the heat spiritually. And you get that heat by being in the presence of the Lord. Now, when we have to steward our mind, whether it's in the morning, the middle of the day, the evening, wherever, all the above, really, we have to make sure that we have that heat. We need to be in his presence because that heat really builds that fire that's brewing within us, the fire that he gave us. And that starts up here. Do I want to steward that or not? Do I want to go there and be in the presence of the Lord? Die to my flesh, maybe get up early, die to my flesh, take a break, not jump on Instagram, not jump into Netflix. Die to my own desires to be in his presence because the heat comes from that. Number two, laws of fire, you need oxygen in order for the fire to breathe. The oxygen is the ability to share your faith. We get in our own head. We're like, I don't want to share that. Ooh, I don't know if that's going to be something that other people are going to value. I'm just not really sure. But there is a reason why you went through it, and we get to share those things. For those that have been following me for a while, you guys know that I love to say this phrase that the Lord gave me. Your story is meant to be mentorship to somebody else. Truly is. And the oxygen to the fire that's burning inside of you is the ability to share your faith, to share revelation, to share what you're learning. That's why after every Sunday I'm in church, I always post the notes because I'm like, look at all what I got. Y'all need to get some of this a little bit. There is too much here that people just oh, that was good. Okay, on to the next. That was good. On to the next. I've been saying that a lot during these lives. Too many of us are waiting for on to the next rather than stewarding the moment that we're in. And that's by winning the war in our mind first. And the third thing when it comes to fire is the fuel. What the fuel is the sacrifice that's going to create the growth that will burn to become the fragrance for others to follow. That leads to the fruit only Jesus can create within us. I'm going to repeat that one more time. It's meaty. The fuel to the heat, to the fire that is inside of us, it's the sacrifices that we make. Now, those sacrifices create the growth that is going to help the fire burn, that is going to be a fragrance for others to follow, that leads to the fruit in our lives that only Jesus can create and produce within us. Like, come on. Like, this was too good. And all of this has to do with like how you steward your mind. Is that important? Is it not? Do I share this? Do I not? Lord, what do you want? So many times we're at war with ourselves, but Lord, what do you want? What do you want me to share? So stewarding that mind could also be mean, and this goes along lines of health, right? What are you putting in your body? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are the thoughts that you're telling yourself? What are the thoughts that you're telling yourself when you're looking in the mirror? Here's an exercise for you. And I do this in one of our trainings inside of our Kingdom Speaker Academy. No, not in our academy. This is actually in one of the courses we have inside Kingdom Alliance. Powerful, powerful exercise. You ready for it? Now, I encourage anyone watching this, listening to this, to do this. This is key when it comes to looking in the mirror. And this has everything to do with your mind and your health and how you speak to yourself. That rhymes. Your mind and your health and how you speak to yourself. Take a mirror, get usually a handheld, or you can be in front of another mirror, turn off the lights in the room, get a flashlight. Now shine the flashlight right here for 10 minutes. Sit there and just look at yourself. Really look at yourself. What are you saying to yourself? How do you view yourself? What are the thoughts that come up? Like, get real. Get real. Get in front of a mirror, turn off the lights, bring on the flashlight, shine it on your face. What comes up for you? The first time I ever did this inside of a leadership course that I took, the first time I was like, okay, I'm checking out my eyebrows, I'm checking out my hair, I'm checking out like, oh, look at these pores. Like, I'm checking out all these other things. And then that was like the first, 2 minutes. I had 8 more minutes to go. Then I really started looking. And then a lot of harsh words came up. A lot of disappointment came up. A lot of things came up that were very ugly. And then I'm thinking to myself, Molly, why are you speaking to yourself like that? Like, what are you doing? Most of us look in mirrors because we're like, okay, ladies, I got to do my hair, I got to do my makeup, but we don't actually look. Most of us pass by mirrors every day, but we're not actually seeing who we are. And so many of us are afraid to take that look because we're afraid of what we'll see, because then we have to deal with it. Once you're aware, you can't become unaware. Now, many of us are master avoiders. We got to check into that too. But do that mirror exercise. What comes up for you? Like, truly dig down deep. What comes up for you and why? And then start asking why enough to go back to the place that shaped you, that formed that thought. So then you can spring forward to really get back into the hands of the one that created you. Y'all need me to say that again? I actually got that from a friend of mine, Carrie Garcia. When you go back to the moments that shaped you, it will allow you to heal, to then spring forward, to go back into the hands of the person that created you. And doing that mirror exercise unlocks a lot. I'm telling you that because this is going to be so healing for so many of you, because it is going to address what's going on up here, but then you get to see the physical self. I see too many people dogging on there. Oh, I'm just in like menopause right now, or oh, I'm overweight because of this right now, or I like to eat because the person's clearly overweight. Like, you say these things to put yourself down first, even in your own mind, then outwardly to people, which is showing people I don't have respect for myself right now. Not that you never had it, I should say, but you don't have it in that moment. You beat people to the punch. Mentally, you're telling yourself these stories. Then physically, you're beating yourself up, even if you're doing something about it. And so many of us beat ourselves up that we don't do anything about it, because you're like, what's the point? What's the point? There's this lady that I'm sure she is trending on Instagram right now. I can't even remember her name. Not really important, but a very, very, very obese Black woman that is outwardly sharing her health journey with other people. And like, when I watch her run, because a lot of these videos are her working out and running on hard pavement, my knees hurt running on hard pavement. But this lady is well overweight, and just that boom, boom, boom with her knees. I'm like, oh gosh, that has to hurt so bad. but way to go. I'm sure there's probably trolls in those comments on Instagram telling her, what's the point? You're fat, this and that. Because there's always trolls everywhere when you're trying to level up. Always. Put them on mute, block, goodbye. But this lady, like, I've been following her transformation. And in the beginning, especially women, when we're trying to lose weight, it takes forever. And guys could go, achoo, and it's gone. I'm just like, miss me with that. Crazy. Isn't it true? But this lady is so overweight and said, you know what? If I don't do anything now, like, she may not make it. You get to a point and like your life is at risk. And so she is outwardly showing like, I'm doing it. Y'all are my accountability. Y'all are going to watch this transformation, because she knows not only is it going to change her life, but it's going to change the lives of so many other people watching her discipline. She's motivating. She's inspiring. She's doing it anyways, even when it hurts, even when it's painful. Like, it is incredible. So when it comes to our health, a lot of us are like, oh, I'll do it when. Oh, I'll do it when. Or we feed our feelings, y'all. And I've definitely been there. Over the last, like, I would say in 2024, there have been more moments where I've fed my feelings, where I'm just like, you know what, I'm feeling some type of way and I want to eat that because I can. First of all, I'm fit, I can. Justification. Still not okay, but I've done it. Or I'm going to eat this because of this. I'm going to eat this because of that. I'm eating because I'm feeling some type of way, instead of being like, why do I feel this way? And why am I finding comfort in food? And I've never really found comfort in food, like, ever. But my mind got to a place where I found comfort in food. And I was like, now this is becoming an escape. Now, I've never really ever been one where, like, again, food has become a comfort and then I, end up getting large. I also tell people I have not had kids yet. So kids have not wrecked my body. They're a blessing, but they wreak havoc on the body. So I've not gone through that. I'm in my 30s, so my hormones are still good. Like, there's a lot more left to go. However, there's still choices. I can choose what I put in my mouth. I can choose how I eat. Every week I fast at least one day. Primarily, it's a spiritual fast, but it also has health benefits, of course. But I'm fasting primarily to be like, okay, Lord, I am battling my mind. I'm telling my mind, like, I'm fasting for this because I want clarity. I want closeness to you. I want to just draw near, and I'm fighting and just telling the courts of heaven, like, I'm protesting and I'm declaring these things that I want to shift and change in my life. And I will deprive my body of food that it needs to survive in order for this to happen. Now, I only do it for a day. I could do it much longer. One day is not going to kill anybody. But there are times where I'm like, yo, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Because then I'm like, oh, there I go. One to feed my feelings again. The escape. But I will tell you, when it comes to fasting, the war in your mind that you get to win of like, I'm not going to eat because this is what I'm fasting for. It's way more important than food. And for me personally, when I get to a point where like all the food is gone, everything's digested, I am so mentally clear. And at that point, the amount of clarity that I have, energy that I have, it just kicks into another gear. It kicks into another gear. And I can hear the Holy Spirit so much more clear than ever before. Food, when we're full and it's heavy, especially after a big meal or any kind of meal, we're comfortable, we're satiated. Starving puts you in a place of, I'm going to give up that satiation. I don't even think that's a word. Satiate, whatever. Satiation, maybe it isn't. I'm going to give that up because I want something more. That starts up here. A lot of people just decide, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to die to my flesh in that way. You know what? I don't want to either. It's not the most comfortable thing. But guess what? I don't want to be comfortable. I want to keep growing. I want to keep excelling. And we get to steward the ability to like battle in our mind of, we're going to do this even though it's hard. Because we were made to do hard things. When it comes to our health, like, how are you stewarding your health? I feel like I have this hair that keeps tickling me on my face. Sorry for y'all there watching the video. I keep scratching my face. I'm like, where is that hair? But how are you stewarding your health? How are you stewarding it? Are you pouring into your body every day by the food you eat, the water you drink? I know a lot of people don't drink enough water. They just don't. I probably drink close to like 80 to 100 ounces, probably more a day. I have a 40, and of course I don't have it here. It's over there. I have a 40-ounce cup, and I at least try to drink 3 of those, plus a protein shake, plus a electrolyte drink, like plus, because I need water, and that helps with your health. And a lot of the times our body needs more water rather than more food. And especially in the American diet, we overeat a lot and there's a lot of processed junk. There's a lot of food, I don't know if you guys knew this, that we have here in America that's normal to us, that in other countries it's banned because the ingredients in it. Like America wants to get you hooked on things so then they can prescribe you something. Don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap by all means necessary. So it starts here. And if you don't win the battle here, it's going to leak in every area of your life. So where are you taking the time to steward your mind, to battle in your mind in order to get on the right track? And then submitting, Lord, take it. Like, I give this to you. There's no room for anxiety, anger, worry, depression. There's no room for that. I'm asking for healing and I'm asking for restoration, and I'm giving this to you because you said I can. And when it comes to your health, don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for tomorrow. Many of you who've been following me for a while, you see pretty much every morning. Every morning I am up dark and early. I am praying. I am stewarding my spirit and my mind. Then I go into the gym and then I come home. I get ready, eat a breakfast, and really just get my day set before I pour out. I have a 4 to 5 hour runway before I even step foot into any kind of work. Any kind of work. That sounds crazy to most people, but that's me stewarding my mind, my health, and my spiritual life because it's important to me. It's a non-negotiable for me. Think about what your non-negotiables are right now, like things that you cannot live without, that you have to do. Well, a couple things that we can all relate to is we need to drink water, a little bit or a lot of it. We need to breathe. We need to put clothes on. We need to eat, unless you're fasting, of course. Like, we need to do those things. We need human connection throughout the day. Now, some may say they don't. That's a lie. We were all built for human connection. Now, those non-negotiables, why? Well, ask why. Ask why you have to have those. Because you want to be fulfilled. You want to live. You want to survive. Me getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go into my prayer closet, which is my car, to steward my mind, my spirit, and then go into the gym, those are my non-negotiables. If I don't have those, it's very hard for me to function. It's almost like, I would almost say it's impossible for me to function. I'm going to put it, it's impossible for me to function without those. Could I? I could, but I'm not going to. That's why I say it's impossible. Because I choose not to. I choose not to skip those things. Those are non-negotiables for me. Doesn't mean that we can't be flexible a little bit, because sometimes days change, weeks change. You got to be a little flexible, and that's okay. But I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. I hope you're hearing that we get to steward the mind and we get to steward our bodies and our health. And the health is, mind, body, soul, spirit, like everything. I should probably just put mind and wellness at this point. But I know a lot of people, when it comes to their health, how they physically look, they're just like, ugh. A lot of people are disgusted with themselves. Or you see people on the polar opposite, that they're so obsessed with their body that they almost look at themselves like a god. This is my temple. This is mine. Look at me. Me, I. I used to have that mindset when I first started working out. Unfortunately, I had that because it came from somewhere very unhealthy. But then now I'm in the gym, and you know what I can listen to in the gym? I get people asking me, what's your playlist? You know, sometimes I will listen to worship music, slow worship music at that. And because of what that song is doing to me spiritually, it gets me jacked. It really does. I don't have to listen to something upbeat. Now, most of my playlist is upbeat, and I would say 90% of it is Christian. There's old songs in there that I need to get out, because the minute it comes on, I'm like, no, don't want that. I don't want anything that song carries. I don't want a thing from it, even if the beat's good. Don't play me, guys. For all of y'all that are like, oh, but the beat, that beat can carry so much more than you think it does. Don't play me on the beat. I used to be that one. But now, Christian music actually really has come up big time. And if somebody wants my playlist for the gym, I use Apple Music, so don't hate. Y'all can look it up on Spotify or whatever you look at it. If you want it, I'll drop the link below to the playlist, and y'all can take a look at it. Maybe find some good songs. There's a lot of really good songs on the come up that are just great. Great messages, great beat, great everything. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm just very excited for people to learn about how to steward different things in their lives. Today on day 8, we're talking about mind and health. And a lot of us, if we start stewarding this up here, winning the war in our mind, I encourage you, go look at that devotional inside the YouVersion Bible. Powerful. Probably the top one I share when people are like, where do I start? Start here. This is powerful. When you can start winning this here and training this here to get in line with what you want, not letting your mind dictate like, oh, of course we're going to have a bad day because this happened. Of course this happened. Second thought theory. Oh, no, we just get it now. Okay, that happened. Well, let's move on. Let's do something else. Let's pivot, right? Let's be flexible. Because of course, if I was the enemy, I would want to get me mad too, right here. But let's not give him the satisfaction. And let's make it a good day. Let's be grateful. Let's give thanks. Because there's no room for anger and negativity when you are thankful. And another thing that my pastor said yesterday, it was so powerful how he was saying this. A lot of us are waiting for once I have this, I can be grateful. Once I have this, it'll be better. He's like, did you open your eyes today? Did you take a breath today? Did you wiggle your hands? Could you breathe deep and smell things today? Could you move your feet today? Could you talk to people you love today? Yes? Be grateful, be thankful. And when you focus on those things, because a lot of people don't have those things, and it may sound cliche to you, it shouldn't. That's us taking for granted things that we shouldn't. He also followed up with this example. If Jeff Bezos gave you all of his wealth, all of it, but said you need to be paralyzed from the neck down, or you would be paralyzed from the neck down, would you take his money? Most people said no. Most people. Now, I'm sure in their mind they might have said no. They may not have voiced it. What if Elon Musk said, I will give you all of my wealth, but you can't see and you can't hear, you can't taste? Would you take it? Everybody said no. All the money in the world, but you want those things that you literally have right now. So go write down what you're grateful for. Go share with people that you're grateful for and why. Definitely include the why. Do that mirror exercise that we talked about. Turn off the lights, get in front of a mirror, put a flashlight in your face for 10 minutes and see what comes up. Get real with yourself. And if it's ugliness that comes out, that's where you get to start and heal. And when you can start forgiving yourself or forgiving people who have wronged you, and you go back to those moments that shaped you, and you heal from those moments, no matter how long it takes, it is going to put you back into the hands of the person that created you. And just be like, Lord, I give my life to you. Here we are. And if you have not given your life to the Lord, and that's something that you want to do, I would love to be able to pray that prayer with you. So reach out, message me. Happy to connect with you. But thank you so much for joining me on another one of these amazing lives. Stay tuned for day 9. We're going to be talking about stewarding your business on day 9. Very excited for that. We're going in deep. All right, you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.